I'm Agamemnon Otero. I'm working on a project called Energy Garden, bringing community gardening and community energy into one thing on the overground, which connects up all around London. I'm focusing particularly on resiliency in communities. So we're trying to not only have that dynamic community engagement on a place where disparate, different people come together to grow things, harvest things, and eat it. There are revenue streams from cash crops like hops to make beer and take honey and hops and make mead. There's also talking about putting energy on top of the roofs. So that makes it community energy in two forms. Being a London leader is just setting in. It feels kind of nice because it makes me feel that I have a responsibility, because I've been reaping the benefits of being in London for a long time, 13 years. And now I feel like it's my responsibility to have a clear, concise message and direct deliverable for my city.
My name is Moni Razak. I am the CEO of Adapterose, a new startup. I noticed my children were not turning off the lights, so I thought of a device that I thought would automate that process. When you consider 26% of carbon emissions come from 6 million houses, there are approximately 1 million social houses that use this ceiling rose. We went back to the drawing board with this ubiquitous ceiling rose and transformed it into an energy-saving device such as this, the Ceiling Rose Motion Sensor. It contains passive infrared detectors which detects the slightest movement in a room. So it knows when it's in, and when it's not, out go the lights. When we noticed that the energy companies had raised their utility bills by an average of 10%, we thought the Ceiling Rose Motion Sensor was the ideal tool that domestic consumers could use to reduce their utility bills. We've just completed a field trial with London Borough of Lewisham, and the volunteer residents had achieved energy savings of 4.3%. This is the first time a tool of such a nature has been made available for domestic consumers. Well, clearly the Ceiling Rose Motion Sensor has benefited some residents in the London Borough of Lewisham. What would be fantastic is if we could share this with the rest of London.
I'm Jane Langley, and I run a social enterprise called coolitschools.com, which is a creative environmental programme for young people. We've been going for about 5 or 6 years, and we've been running projects which help kids learn about the environment using creative arts. This idea came to me because I thought, well, what's the best way to get messages out to the rest of the population? And the obvious answer was very short films. I mean, the films that have been submitted have been absolutely wonderful, and the feedback from teachers as well. The teachers said, just as a way of engaging kids, it's been spectacularly successful. Everything we do is tied in with whatever the UN is doing. So this year it's International Year of Water Cooperation, hence the competition being called Hot Water. Next year it's International Year of Family Farming. So what's really exciting for us is that the films are going to be screened at the BFI, which is, the culturally significant cinema and art centre of the UK. But also I think for the young people, it privileges them by giving them a platform that's of cultural importance. As a London leader, I feel incredibly honoured to have this. I'm going to use it like mad because we really want to generate an enormous amount of publicity and interest in this competition. We want to drive it to being one of the biggest annual film festivals for young people in the world. We've got huge ambitions for it. So being a London leader is just the best platform I could possibly hope for.
Hi, my name's Arthur Kay, and I'm the co-founder of BioBean. BioBean is a green energy company which collects waste coffee grounds and converts them into both biodiesel and biomass pellets. So the BioBean process is relatively simple. We collect mainly from coffee factories in and around London, as well as at a later date coffee shops. This is then collected and taken to our processing plant in Edmonton in North London, where the coffee grounds are dried, the oil is extracted, and then that is then converted into biodiesel. Biodiesel we look to sell internally within London, mainly for transport use, and the biomass pellets for heating buildings within the Greater London area as well. Conversations with both coffee shops and coffee factories are going exceptionally well. They seem really excited at the fact that we can provide them with both a financial and environmental incentive to go forward with BioBean. Being a London leader and getting the support of both the GLA and the Mayor of London, We'll provide BioBean with a platform to be able to educate Londoners as to what BioBean means and to hopefully encourage them to in turn encourage coffee shops and coffee houses to use the logo and to recycle their waste coffee. Today when people ask me what I do, I say I'm a green energy entrepreneur.
I'm Fiona Dizeni, the founder of Rendezvous. So what if we could find a way so that we could get new clothes every day without getting ruined and without over-consuming? Women have a real problem with their wardrobe. They have a wardrobe full of clothes but always nothing to wear, to the extent that they spend over £1,000 in their wardrobe a year, but they don't wear 70% of their clothes. Rendezvous is the first peer-to-peer and designers fashion rental marketplace that allows women to rent clothes to each other, but also rent designers' creations for a short-term period and a fraction of the price. We have dropping points in London and Paris where women can give back the clothes. We have a deposit required, and we also involve partnership with dry cleaners. We really want to drive our community through online and specifically mobile application, as people will be able to meet and connect every day as a frequent alternative to buy, thanks to geolocation, notification and rating systems.
I'm Helen Steer, and the project that I'm working on for London Leaders is Brixton Beer and Beyond. So Brixton Beer is a community project, and I thought, how cool would it be to have a Lambeth grown beer? We just sent out some feelers about who'd buy some hop packs off of us, including everything that you'd need to grow a hop in the city. Another interesting thing about this project is that around 70% of the people who participated have never grown anything before. So it's a really good way for people to learn because hops are so easy to grow. The first year was just Brixton Beer kind of feeling it out, kind of finding out all the challenges. And the second year we kept it quite small again, so we expanded it out only slightly. But we want to use our learning this year to create what we're going to be calling an open source business model so that it's replicable in any community as a micro enterprise.
My name's Dave Raval, so I'm the Chief Executive of Loftzone. Loftzone is a British company based in London. We've designed a product called Store Floor, which is made in the UK, and it provides a raised deck that goes above your insulation. It allows you to use your loft for storage or for access purposes, but crucially it doesn't squash the insulation, it protects it, which allows it to work on stopping your heating bills. So if you squash your insulation with boxes of boards, you lose 50% of the thermal resistance of the product, and that's what we stop. So there have been lots of highs in the past year or so since we started business. So we won Best Invention of the Year from the Ideal Home Show. Also we won Best Environmental Technology from Oxford University Centre for Innovation. Every time we get a new sale from a new customer or a new part of the country, or we export, all those little wins, they all add up. What motivates me is taking something as a good idea and turning it into something that works. So I like building things up, whether it's businesses or the like. So I want to build Loftzone Store Floor product into something that is recognised and everyone knows about it, and lots of people are implementing it, and we're saving on fuel bills and doing a bit for the environment.
My name is Law Hines and I'm the founder of Reseed, where we turn waste paper into trees. Reseed is a front-of-house sustainability brand for FMCG good retailers in the London area and also in the greater UK. Our first target is paper receipts, which use an inordinate amount of paper, heat, electricity and oil in their production, and also cost a huge amount to both retailers and consumers. People who use our platform pledge to donate a percentage of the savings they make in moving from paper to paperless, to a tree planting charity or to a carbon sequestration project. In this way, we're enabling retailers and consumers to both prevent and remediate the damage that we're doing to our environment. I think being recognised as a London leader is a huge amount of validation for Reseed, for the concept, and obviously there are a huge amount of benefits to being a London leader. There's the opportunity to be part of a cohort of similar initiatives, and I think that I will gain a huge amount of motivation from seeing all of the different initiatives and organisations that are London leaders.
I'm Dirk Bischoff and I work for One Planet Ventures, and we are currently establishing a green business incubator here in London. For me, a green incubator is a space where people can come together. If you are an entrepreneur who has an idea, you can come to us, we'll help you to formulate your idea, to build a business model around the idea, and then to actually, for you to start your business. We want to exchange green entrepreneurs across Europe. So we want people who have a green idea, we want them to go somewhere where it's already happening, and vice versa. If somebody wants to come here and show us how things are happening elsewhere, we want to foster that exchange of knowledge, expertise and innovation really. Well, so far London's green sector turns over at about 28 billion. So it's a big sector to make more happen really, and more can be done. And we've approached some big banks, and it's quite likely we will receive support from one of them to support our efforts in Lambeth. And we're on the lookout for more funding from the European Commission, again to link things in with them, and it's looking quite positive at the moment. I think being a London leader and establishing the Green Business Incubator will hopefully be a match made in heaven, so we can get the support that we need, that is essential to get such a big idea off the ground.
I'm Stephen Dring and I'm from Zero Carbon Food, and yes, we are producing produce in disused spaces around London using renewable energy and zero carbon, giveaways in the name of the company, and using zero carbon to power LED lights and a hydroponic system to grow the produce. The hydroponic system is obviously a way of water feeding the root system rather than using soil. How do I feel about a London leader? There's a lot of prestige that goes with it. And you look at some of the previous projects and not what they've just gone on to achieve, but the individuals themselves. And yeah, personally, there's a lot to gain from it. We realised we needed to build a strong team around us, and as much as we bring to it, we realised there's gaps there, and so straight away we brought on board a horticulturalist who 30 years experience in the industry, growing in inhospitable environments around the planet. So yeah, knowing that we wanted to grow in central London, he was on board. And then to develop the flavours and develop the produce, it was necessary that we brought on board somebody with a really good palate. So we needed a chef involved, and so we brought on board a chef of decent repute. And then it was a case of also bringing in somebody, an industry leader, and finding somebody who can support us in that area. And yeah, that search continues.
My name is Sam and I work at Sutton Community Farm. We're a project on the edges of London, and we grow as much food as we can whilst involving the community in doing that. So we have local customers, but we have lots of volunteers involved in the project, and we teach people how to grow food. Part of my London Leaders project is to be a catalyst for peri-urban farming. What peri-urban farming is, it's about growing food on the edges of our urban environment. The interface between dense housing and businesses and things with the countryside. So it's that belt that we have around the city. We've had an overwhelming interest in the farm, and we think we've had over 1,000 people come to the farm, from school children to probation groups to local businesses, and people wanted to learn how to grow food for themselves. We look at the effect Sutton Community Farm has on the local community in terms of carbon footprint, but also economically. And we know that when someone spends £1 on produce from our farm, it generates £1.60 for the local economy. Whereas if someone spends £1 at a supermarket, it just generates 40p for the local economy.
My name's Emma Snow and I'm from St Joseph's Hospice in Hackney, and my idea is the Care Compass website, which is a website for people facing life-shortening conditions and their friends and family and their carers, and also the professionals supporting them. I was diagnosed with a life-shortening condition myself, a genetic condition which I don't have symptoms for yet, about 10 years ago, and I found there wasn't a lot of support, particularly ongoing support if you've got a long-term condition. And some of the support that you might need isn't necessarily a professional that you go and see and take up their time and have to book an appointment for. It's more that you need to get to know other people who are in a similar situation, who you can socialise with and then phone up. So my idea was to have a website because I wanted to make sure that people would find out about what is actually there rather than just assume that there's nothing there because the information isn't available. Well, I'm really pleased to be a London leader because I think that it will help me to really make this project a success and hopefully do something which will be really useful for other people in my situation across London and across the rest of the UK.